Settings, System Settings. Now we're on to the entry settings. So these control what is shown on the entry form. So you can hide Slack performances or Slack preferences on the entry form so that a member cannot select a Slack performance as their preference for the draw during rodeo entry. So you can hide that or leave it as show, and it will allow them to. Number of buddies on the entry form, you can set it to 0 or to whichever number you require. First team roping partner, you can choose what is displayed in some public reports. When team events are displayed, which team role member will be displayed first in these public reports, places such as the draw. So if you set this as header, then the header, regardless of whether they were the lead entrant or the partner entered, will be displayed first on the team. Same with ribbon roping. Typically it's the roper who is shown first. Same day payment for entry fees. So if you turn this to yes, and you're using online payments, then the members will be required to pay for their entries on that day. Unpaid entries will be put into a place called on hold, and they will not be included in the draw. The member who is entering, they will receive an on-screen message, and they will receive information in the email notification about the payment requirement. Entry payment lead only. So if a member enters himself plus a team partner and perhaps a few buddies, and this is turned on, then after they have submitted the entry form and they're on the payment selections page, only payment for their entries will be selected and charged. If this is set to no, then initially all members entered on that form will be shown as being paid for. It is a checkbox, so they can be turned off. But if it's set as yes, then only the lead will show as being checked. Use entry fee per rodeo. This allows the admin to set a entry fee at the rodeo set events level that is used as the default, but then they can override these in each rodeo setting per each event. Per rodeo event, multiple entry. This allows a box on the rodeo setup set rodeos section to enable the member to enter an event multiple times within the same rodeo, and it will display multiple entries, multiple checkboxes for that same event. Preference number 3, if your association allows members to select up to 3 performance preferences, then you would turn this to yes. Otherwise, it defaults to 2, or if it's a single performance rodeo, it will only show 1. Display entry fees. So this, when online entries are in place, it will always show the entry fees. If you're not using online payments, you can actually turn this off so it doesn't show the entry fees. Receipts total only. When this is turned on, it is going to consolidate multiple fees, such as a bull riding fee plus a bull riding stock fee, into just the event. It'll add those two together. Otherwise, if we set it to no, it is going to display all of the detail. Entry by name, when this is turned on, then the members can enter their name and the system will search for their name out of the member list. When this is turned off, then they must enter by their member number. Email on entry, when this is turned on, there will be a field on the entry form for email address, and when submitted, if the membership database does not have an email yet for that member, it will update it with that email. If there is an email, when they enter their member number, it will actually auto-populate that field. Entry testing. Now, how this differs is these are tests that occur, quality checks that occur when the entry is submitted. So check for duplicates. If this is turned on, then a member can only enter a rodeo once. Check for valid member numbers. So this will ensure that a member is a member. If we turn this off, then any member number that they enter will be allowed. Check for membership fees paid. So if your organization does not charge membership fees, you would turn this off. Otherwise, this is going to check to ensure that their membership is current. Check for fines. If this is on and they have a fine owing to the association, it will not allow them to complete their entry. If we turn this off, then it will treat the fine as an amount owed, but it will not stop them from entering. Check for junior age. This requires some custom settings, but if it's on and they attempt to enter a junior event, but they're too old for that event, then it will not allow that to proceed. The max entries test. So if you're using the max entries test, then check for duplicates needs to be off. You'll see that note over here. So how this works is this allows a member to submit multiple entries to the same rodeo. So they could submit an entry with barrel racing, and then the next day they could submit an entry with pole bending, and then the next day they could submit an entry with goat tying. And what it tests for is that they do not exceed the maximum number of times they're allowed to enter that event, and the admin would set that max. So if they're allowed to enter barrel racing twice, they could enter once on Monday, once on Tuesday. If they try to enter again, it will prevent that. Check for team duplicates. So you may have some settings on, and you may not want to test for team entries. So you can turn this on so that if they enter a team event twice, then checking for duplicate entries in a team is skipped. Duplicate warning only. If we turn this on, then it will allow them to enter a team event more than once, but it will warn them. And skip partner testing entirely. What this does, if you're selecting a team event entry, does not require you to enter a partner and the partner's role. Payments, these are on or off. So are you going to use online payments for entry? Are you going to use online member payments? Yes or no. If you have payments turned on, you will require to have a Stripe connected account. And this is set up in the start menu, your account. There will be a link to set up your Stripe account. And you can set a minimum entry deposit.